Little girl with dreams too big to hold. You saw something in me before I even knew. Through every change, every year, every story told, you stayed right there, steady, kind and true. You watched me grow, you never let me fall.
What's up, y'all? This is Elisabeth Withers and
Chelsea Mendes.
and we are the Don't Tell Daddy podcast.
But we wanted to just take a moment to just say happy birthday to the April babies, honey.
Hey, April, baby. We will call you all out, but we won't do all that. But I'll start with the queen herself, Patsy Withers. Happy birthday.
Yes.
Uncle Ralph, happy birthday. Uncle Nick, happy birthday. Pat
Yes.
Barksdale, happy birthday.
Artist alternative, honey.
Artist alternative, happy birthday.
Yes.
Whom else?
And you know what's funny about that question? Because in this family, like, that's never just a question. That's a setup. That's mom saying, before I move on, let me make sure nobody calls me later talking about, you ain't say nothing about me. And honestly, somewhere, somebody already got their feelings hurt. We just don't know who yet. And that's exactly why this episode exists. Because April is not a small month. April is one of those months where if you try to rush through it, you're going to miss something important. A birthday, a story, a whole piece of history. And around here, we don't skip over things like that. Welcome back to Don't Tell Daddy, where the conversations are honest, the memories are a little selective, and somehow we always end up telling the truth anyway. Now let's talk about April. First of all, April babies, we need to have a conversation because y'all are either Aries or Taurus, which means, respectfully, you are either a firecracker or a brick wall. There is no in between. April 1st through the 19th, Aries, bold, loud, passionate, the type to start something and then figure it out later. And then April 20th and on, Taurus, grounded, practical, loyal, but if they say no, that's it. Conversation over. And what April did, very intentionally, was put both of those personalities in the same month. So now you've got people who will argue with you, stand on it, and then cook you dinner after, and somehow we love y'all for it. Because April, people have this energy where life feels like it's happening right now. And that's not random. Because April itself is a turning point. This is the month where the world starts waking up. Flowers bloom, the air shifts, everything feels like it's starting over. And historically, April has always been that kind of month. April 11th, 1881, Spelman College is founded. And let's pause there for a second, because that's not just a date, that's legacy. Two women, Sophia Packard and Harriet Giles, started something that would become the oldest historically black college for women in the country. And as a Spelman woman, that's not just history, that's personal. That's walking into a space built for you before you even got there. That's legacy being prepared in advance. And that's what April does. It plants seeds that grow long after the moment passes. April 12th, 1961. The first human goes to space, which is wild, because imagine being alive at a time where nobody had ever left Earth. And then one day, someone did. April said, we're not staying where we started. But April doesn't just give you progress. It also gives you perspective. April 15th, 1912, the Titanic sinks, the most advanced ship of its time, gone in hours. And it reminds us, just because something looks strong doesn't mean it's unbreakable. April 4th, 1968. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is assassinated, a loss that still sits heavy. But even in that, his words, his work, his impact, they didn't leave with him, because real legacy doesn't disappear, it multiplies. And that brings us back to family, because history is powerful, but family is where it becomes real. April 26, 1944, our family matriarch was born, not into comfort, not into shortcuts, but into 82 acres of land, a father who farmed, a mother raising 10 children. Now let's be clear, that kind of life, that builds discipline, that builds strength, that builds a kind of resilience you don't learn in a classroom. And she carried that through marriage, through raising a family, through life changing over and over again. And then, because she's hurt at 80 years old, she got her master's degree. Most people at 80 are saying, I've done enough. She said, I've got one more thing to do. And now she's living life on her terms. A snowbird, moving how she wants, when she wants. That's not just a story, that's a blueprint. And that's what Don't Tell Daddy is really about. It's not just us talking. It's not just mother and daughter going back and forth. It's us capturing the things that could easily get lost. So this is us choosing to remember on purpose, choosing to document. Because April holds all of that. It holds writers like William Shakespeare. I love thee more than words can wield the matter. And somehow, even that feels connected because April is full of expression, full of feeling, which feels very on brand for this family. April also holds war and peace. April 12th, 1861, the Civil War begins. April 30th, 1975, the Vietnam War ends. Beginnings and endings, conflict and resolution, all in the same month, which is exactly how life works. So when mom asks, did we miss any April birthdays? What she's really asking is, did we take the time to acknowledge the people who are part of this story? Because April babies, you're not random. You're part of a month that represents transformation, resilience, humor, strength, and just a little bit of attitude. Okay, sometimes a lot, but that's why we love you. So, no, we didn't forget. We were just taking our time to do it right, to connect the dots, to remind ourselves that every birthday we celebrate is tied to something bigger.
We're celebrating resilience, we're celebrating hope, we're celebrating growth, we're celebrating beauty. We're celebrating people who are in their own way reflecting everything this month represents. And that's not small. That's something to take pride in. That's something to hold on to. So, if you feel like we missed you earlier, just know that we didn't. We're still building, and we're building for you. Because everything here at the Don't Tell Daddy podcast loves you and everything that you stand for. And what's the compatibility between Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Aquarius? It's just people. We don't really believe in astrology and all that kind of stuff, but we do believe in reading and we do believe in staying informed. So any flaws you see, just know that it's just God working on us. Stay tuned. Don't Tell Daddy podcast. I'm your co-host, Elisabeth Withers, and my daughter, Chelsea Mendes.
But let's talk about personality for a second, because April babies don't just exist, they make themselves known. Like, April people don't just walk into a room quietly. No, they enter like, okay, what's going on in here? And even if they don't say anything out loud, you feel it. You feel the presence, you feel the energy. And depending on which side of April they fall on, you either getting warmth or you getting a full personality check. Because Aries will say it. They don't believe in holding things in. If they thought it, you're going to hear about it. And not in a mean way, in a I just want to be honest way. But sometimes that honesty hits a little sharp. And then Taurus won't say nothing at first. They'll just look at you. And that look says everything. Because once a Taurus has decided something, there is no meeting in the middle. There is no let's circle back. And I think that's why April feels the way it does, because even the month is loyal to growth. It comes back every year and says, we're going to try this again. We're going to bloom again. We're going to start fresh again. And history shows that too. Think about it. The Civil War starting in April, the Vietnam War ending in April, moments where everything changed, where people had to decide, do we stay where we are or do we move forward even if it's hard? And that same question shows up in our lives, just in smaller ways, in relationships, in careers, in who we choose to become. And if we're being real, sometimes those decisions feel just as big. And that's where family comes in. Because family is supposed to be the place where you can figure it out, where you can be a little unsure, a little loud, a little stubborn, and still be loved anyway. And let's be honest, that's something we've mastered over here. We might go back and forth. We might say, okay, we're not talking about this today. And then 5 minutes later, we're talking about it again. Because that's what we do. We process out loud. We laugh through things. We tell stories that probably should have stayed in the group chat, but somehow made it to the podcast anyway. And that's the beauty of Don't Tell Daddy. It's not polished all the time. It's not perfect, but it's honest. And honesty, that's something April people understand very well. Maybe a little too well, but we're not going to get into that today. What we are going to do is recognize that being born in April means something. It means you carry a little bit of everything, a little fire, a little grounding, a little humor, a little history. You're part of a month that has seen the world at its highest points and its lowest, and still chooses to bloom every single year. So when we celebrate April birthdays, we're not just celebrating another year. We're celebrating resilience. We're celebrating growth. We're celebrating people who, in their own way, reflect everything this month represents. And that's not small. That's something to take pride in. That's something to hold on to. So if you felt like we missed you earlier, just know we didn't forget. We were building up to you. Because around here, we don't just say happy birthday and move on. We tell the story. We set the tone. We make sure you understand you're part of something bigger. And now that we've said all that, now that we've laughed a little, reflected a little, and maybe called a few of y'all out just a little bit, it's time. Now come on, let's sing.
I knew who I was, I just needed the room to be what I saw. trying to let it all bloom. I had the vision, I carried the weight, just needed the time to move in my pace. You every season, you stood right there, not trying to leave, just showing you care. You listened close, you understood, and led me exactly where I stood. From late night talks to mapping it out, speaking life when there was doubt. You saw the dream and honored the plan, never once tried to change who I am. I learned from your strength, I grew from your grace. Now I'm ready to step into my own space. In a place.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much to Bravo Ocean Suites and to the engineers behind this camera. Thank you to our, just everybody that's been a part of this. Carlo Milano Harden, that's going to be styling us. Make sure you check us out on YouTube and all streaming networks. Again, I am Elizabeth, and this is my daughter, Chelsea.
And we'll see you soon.
Every Wednesday at 7 p.m.
This one we thank God for you. April may be our favorite love. April bloom, baby, bloom for me. I see you, I feel you, making it happen for me and for you.
I'm fly just a little, but not enough for you. I get you hot in the middle. You say you got better things to do. I'm gonna break it down. Oh yeah, 1, 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh yeah, I'm gonna break it down. Funny, yeah, yeah. You won't look me in the eye. Yeah, yeah. You can see it's raining, raining down my big pretty thigh. I'm gonna break you down. 1, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna break it down. Come, baby, play it for me. Right here. Come on, hey!
Incredible flex to get her to stretch. Just wanted some flex. Hot and cold, I'm making a guess. Oh, what a finesse. Mama told me to give her respect, but nevertheless, I see myself up under that dress, just making a mess. I never stress. Keep cool, I manifest. Slowly leaking my insulin, work puffing my cannabis. Take my time, I promise to properly handle his. I bet she tune in when she know what channel it is. Now I'm in her eyes, staring right in the soul. Tell her yes, tell her no, taking total control. Savagery mode, she love the way I'm stroking her slow. Say she like the way I get it lit and make it explode. Lo and behold, look at your boy accomplishing goals. Give her safe space, let her and her hoe be a hoe. The waters will flow, and when I'm finished breaking her down, the king has just conquered his queen, straighten my crown now.